Hi guys, welcome to another audio video, and I'm reading 2 Samuel 12 of the King James Version Bible, and it reads, And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him, and said unto him, There were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveller unto the rich man, and he spared to take of, and he spared, I don't know why I said spread, he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, As the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die, and he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul, and I gave thee their master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. And now therefore the sword shall never depart from thy house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, The Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Albeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. And Nathan departed unto his house, and the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. David therefore besought God for the child, and David fasted, and went in and lay all night upon the earth. And the elders of his house arose and went to him, to raise him up from the earth. But he would not, neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. Or will he then vex himself, if we tell him that the child is dead? But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. Then David arose from the earth, and washed, and anointed himself, and changed his apparel, and came into the house of the Lord, and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then said his servants unto him, What thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. And he said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, Who can tell whether God will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now he is dead, wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. And David comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went in unto her, and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon. And the Lord loved him, and he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedidiah, because of the Lord. And Joab fought against Rabah of the children of Ammon, and took the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David, and said, I have fought against Rabah, and have taken the city of waters. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together, and encamp against the city, and take it, lest I take the city, and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people together, and went to Rabah, and fought against it, and took it. And he took their king's crown from off his head, and weighed the whereof was a talent of gold with the precious stones, and it was set on David's head. And he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. And he brought forth the people that were therein, and put them under saws and under harrows of iron, and under axes of iron, and made them pass through the brick kiln. And thus did he unto all the cities of the children of Ammon. So David and all the people returned unto Jerusalem. Alright guys, so in this chapter we see where David is being punished. And it's amazing how sometimes God, when God speaks to his servants, he speaks to them in ways in which it shows correlation to the way in which Jesus spoke in parables. And that's what's being done here in the first part, when actually Nathan came to David, and when he posed the question, when he posed the story to him, the situation to him, because he was not the one, the exact situation was not laid out before him as himself, but it was given in a different way. And then he was not able to depict that it was indeed him, that the word was actually speaking of what the Lord had said. Okay, and so he was quick to judge and say, that man is wicked, he should surely die. So he basically gave God a punishment to give to him, because he said that man shall surely die. But he did not know that it was indeed a parable, and it was the person in question, the man that he was saying should die, is himself. And in that he knew what the punishment should be for a person who did such a thing. And he did it. He was guilty of that act. He committed an abominable act against the Lord. And so the price for that is basically death. Right? But the thing is that he was not the one who died, but the child that was created by the sin died. And you'd say an innocent child. And sometimes we look and we'll wonder, why is it that an innocent child has to suffer for the sins of the parent? And it's not that an innocent child has to suffer for the sin of the parent. We don't know the ways of God. But if I was to try and come up with a reason for it, it was that the child was conceived of sin. We were already born of sin. We already had a sinful nature. In keeping the child alive, the sin would have been exposed, and it would have appeared that the Lord had anointed a king, and David is not pure to be king, pure enough to be king. It would appear that David, it's like a slap in the face to God, seeing that the Lord was always with David, and David went and did this abominable act against him. And that's just how it is. It's just like this. You have a friend and you put your trust in your friend, and you give your friend access to everything that you have, and everyone knows you place your friend all over social media and everything, and you say, oh, this is my best friend and whatever. But that person actually speaks ill of you to everybody they know in secret. But what happens is that you show them up in public, and you are there with them, and you fight their battles for them. But when it comes to you, they're not there to help you or to fight your battles with you. As a matter of fact, they spit in your face. So it's kind of something like that. Think of it like that. So that's basically what David did. He basically spat in God's face by actually doing that act, adultery, and then killing, right, on top of that. So he didn't only commit adultery, but he actually murdered as well. And that shows a lot. He also coveted against his neighbor. So that's something else. He saw his neighbor's wife and he wanted him. He saw Uriah's wife and he wanted her. So he coveted his neighbor's property. Okay, so many commandments he'd broken in committing that one act. There were so many abominable acts created in just doing that one act. And so, guys, I'm just gonna tell you this, plain and straight. Whenever you think of sinning, think of it as you're not just committing one sin, but there are numerous sins behind that. If you lie, you do other sinful acts as well, because you did not just lie. Okay, if you steal, you don't only commit the act of stealing. Okay, you do other things. You have to contemplate it. There are many different things that are involved, and so that is why we need to walk in God's light and just slay self each and every day. Slay the flesh. I know at times it's hard, but just trust in God. Put God first, put him at the forefront of your mind, and everything else will fall into place. Okay? Alright guys, I'm gonna leave you right there. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification so you're alerted whenever a new audio video is posted. And guys, please don't forget to leave your thoughts, comments, and revelations down below in the comment section. Guys, continue to walk in your salvation, and if you've not yet gained it, then seek it. There's no better time to begin than the present. Have yourselves a blessed day. Bye.